Welcome back to the Eye of Moon podcast. My name is Goddess Bliss, and I have a channeling today from Obatala. Obatala has been guiding me through my neurodiversity, through my ADHD, and through my anxiety. Obatala would like all of his children to know that it is that very thing that makes you great, the thing that is shunned, the thing that you feel that you need to hide, the thing that you have hidden, the thing that makes you beautiful and glorious and gracious and strong. The thing that ostracizes you. That isolates you. It is that very thing that makes you godly. This is a side note. I had went to a restaurant. I like to go and travel by myself and do fun things. And I was at a restaurant, and I was at the bar specifically, and I was speaking to one of the hostess. And we were talking about spirituality, of course. We were talking about archaeology and all those great things. And the bartender, I'm not sure what the pronouns were for them, so I'm just gonna say them out of respect. But they said, it's funny how when you look back at history, we were always human. And I said, yeah. They said, for example, you have writings on walls, you have hieroglyphs on temples, and in the bathroom stall you have people that are writing on the walls, right? And I love that analogy because when we speak of being a goddess or a god, right, you can never neglect the humanity of the god or the goddess. You can never neglect that. I think in every pantheon, that is the exact lesson that is learned in various ways of how the same lesson of the humanity that makes you godly. And with Obatala, it's the quirks, it's the weirdness, it's the oh, what the hell that happens in your life, or like the clumsiness of whatever it is for you. But it is that thing, that humanity in you that you acknowledge, you absorb, you understand, you love, you nurture that about yourself. And then you embrace that about yourself, and that's what makes you godly. It's understanding yourself and how you contribute to the world, to the earth, to us, to the connection, to the law of one, to the law of the cosmos, to the scales, how you contribute to the scales, the cosmic scales. How do you use what you were given? How do you embrace that? How do you alchemize that? All my life I was either told it, or it was like the the whisper around the room or whatever, that like, girl, you a bit slow. But it was only when I was trying to run a race that wasn't mine. Because now that I embrace my own lane, now that I understand, like, oh, there's a neurodivergent lane, and I fit the qualifications, but this is my lane, it's like, I'm freaking loving it. Because I've always been divergent. I've always been against something. Someone can say right, and I'm like, well, what is left do? You know, unless there was an actual explanation where it was common sense not to go left, I want to go left. I need to explore left. Right? And so that's like, it's not a intellectual thing, it's not a comprehension thing. That is it's genetically in me, it's cosmically, it's astrologically and within me to do that and to be that. And for a long time I was conditioned, didn't know, through environment, through generational curses, through beliefs, through limited mindsets, through insecurity, right? Through confusion. I would hide that. I would hide that part of myself. And now that I know myself, it's not even understanding, and that's the thing. It's you knowing. Like, I'm speaking to a collective that you know this about yourself. You know yourself. And so the things that people feel that they can talk about, or they can nitpick on, or they think they can, make a joke out of, or try to demean you in a way, quote unquote, humble you in a way, they can't do that because you understand the greatness in what that is. A lot of spiritually intelligent or spiritually awakened or spiritually inclined, okay, people are going to be neurodivergent. So this neurodivergence, it's like when I spoke about this a very long time ago in my old TikTok. There's the ancient way that is coming back, and the ancient way is going to flip everything that you think you know upside down. Everything that is supposed to be standard, everything that is supposed to be quote unquote normal, right? The moral quote unquote way, quote unquote morally, that's not true. That's confirmation. All these those are confirmations that you're hearing. 11:11 on the clock, that's crazy. You could be seeing 11:11. Okay, you could be seeing 111 or just 11. Or 1022, so those could be confirmation numbers for you, or something to look out for. I have to take deep breaths and center myself again. And channeling. This cosmic shift, the new age, the golden age, the spiritual renaissance. This is going to be the height of the neurodivergent people. truth is neurodivergence will be the new normal. Decades from now, because it is the evolution of humanity, is the evolution of the creation. You understand? If we are speaking of Obatala, and if you do not know the story of Obatala, I urge you to do your own research, meditation, reading, okay, exploring, okay, trustworthy elders. Do your research. But if we are speaking of the story of Obatala, right? Yes, okay. What Obatala has molded, what I have molded, what I have created, evolves. Okay, it is the evolution of all of what was molded and created. And this evolution comes at a spiritual evolution. When you think of Darwin, the evolution theory. The evolution doesn't stop with the physical. The evolution is complete when there is a spiritual and inward evolution, right? And so, yes, humans have learned how to survive on Earth. Eat healthy foods, blah, blah, blah. You learn how to survive on planet Earth, but there's an evolution where you must thrive on it. And it is not thriving through the physical only, through material only. It's thriving in spirit, right? There is connection in the cosmos through vibration and frequency that must occur in order for it to actually be balanced, okay? And harmonized, I should say. My aunt is coming through as well, but this is an Obatala reading, but this is how they work together, okay? And that's what they're coming to say. How that was unexpected. I'm shaking a little bit. Hold on. That was unexpected, but that was beautiful. Okay, I'm back. That was a lot of energy to channel at once. That's cool. Anywho, but this surgence or this, it's like a rebranding of the outcast or of the different, right? It's like a rebranding of the divergent. This is going to be a time to thrive in your field, but you must embrace who you are. You must embrace who you are. You must learn yourself. You must perfect yourself. And perfect doesn't mean, there's no such thing as perfect, right? So it's not really perfect, excuse me. You must master yourself, right? And even in then, we are a master of none. It's like, and even in that, we are a master of none, right? And that's the humbleness of remembering that you are human. That's your humanity, right? That when evolved, when aligned with the Most High, when your will, your free will aligns with the Most High's will, that's the evolution to being a god or a goddess. I feel like there's another message coming. I'm getting a confirmation burp. Hold on. Excuse me. Oh my god. So sorry. I'm feeling like a lot of like other Orishas and other goddesses coming into this reading because it's all intertwined in the Book of Life. And that was channeled. Whew. It's all intertwined in the Book of Life. And so, long story short, a lot of these gods and goddesses and orishas and elements and fairies and dragons and angels and archangels. They're all coming through as like we work together. We work together, we work together, we work together. You know, this is a multi-dimensional plane. Okay? And so the division, the veil has been lifted and there's no division. And for those who continue to divide, they'll just be where they are. And, you know, life will go on. But the point is that you should never stop. Continue to do what you're doing and stay focused. Embrace who you are. You must embrace who you are. Fully. Obatala wants us all to embrace who we are fully. Because everything that has a stigma attached to it that's all a lie. Those who have ADHD, they're used to moving, but there's two types, right, of ADHD. There's an ADHD where it looks like laziness, right? But it's really your body shutting down to the overload, the mental overload of all the things you have to do. And so instead of reacting or taking action, you divert the other way and you shut down. You don't do anything at all. And then there's those that take action, but they're taking action and the work never gets done because you're picking at every little thing that has to get done all at once, right? And so instead of kind of taking it one at a time, you kind of spread yourself too thin and you burn out that way. But using this as an example, for those who are spiritually inclined, ADHD looks like it looks like time jumping. It looks like being able to move, accomplish, that's confirmation, different things in different time periods and time zones. And so can people do that now? If you're spiritually inclined, which there are beings on this on this earth right now who have either ascended or always knew that they had this ability and mastered it. But long down the line, if we can understand what that truly is on a spiritual level, then that won't be received or projected upon as if it is a disability and it will be something that should be mastered. Those are things that were mastered in mystery schools. But we don't have that anymore. Our children have daycare centers that push a lot of paper, a lot of paperwork, and a lot of numbers. But that's what that is. A lot of these quote-unquote disabilities are ancient abilities that have been dulled to the third dimensional level. Their spiritual abilities that have been dimmed. Dim means neglected, right? They don't know that it's a power. They don't know that it's something that they can use to thrive. And not only just to thrive in life, but to be for humanity, right? To be in purpose. Like, it's a part of your purpose. Like, everything that is a part of you is a part of your purpose. And people don't know themselves enough. They're too hung up on labels that are given systematically to oppress original people. To oppress and hello. I can't, like, you can't make these things up. Confirmation. To oppress the evolving humanity. Or the evolving human spiritually. Because if you have a label on your record that this is what it is, this is your limitations, then that's what that's what people treat you like this is a limitation for you. And then that's what you start to absorb. That you are limited. When the truth is that it is the very thing that liberates you. And not just you. It's legit your superpower. A lot of these children, I work in the Department of Education, and a lot of these children are like earth angels. They're like earth angels, and they're reincarnated gods or princes or kings or queens. And even if it's not they're not reincarnated, some of them they have true gifts. Like true angelic or supernatural gifts. They don't know it's supernatural. They don't know it. They're labeled as being depressed. They're labeled as being of having ADHD. They're labeled as so many things. They're labeled as being autistic. They're labeled as being, and it's just like, if you see this part of them, then you would know that this is something that needs to be nurtured. I don't know. It's only what the masses find acceptable or outstanding but that's not going to be for much longer. Alright, Obatala has left. It's just you and I now. And so, with that being said, I'm signing out. Thanks for tuning in.